Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. This is the Pinball Party Podcast. My name is Jason, but I am not alone. With me, I have brought my good podcast friend, Deep Dive Zach.
Figure it out. Love the name. Good morning.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. So you were saying you stayed up till 3 a.m. watching Fallout.
Oh man, it's like I had plans yesterday. We were gonna go play Pulp Fiction and maybe go to Monkey Man, and then before you know it, it's like late, and I'm like, you know what? I should just start these last couple episodes of Fallout, and they all end on cliffhangers.
Damn.
It's like cliffhanger after cliffhanger. They just keep hitting you, and by there's 10. Episode 9, it ends on a crazy cliffhanger, and I was gonna finish it.
Ooh, that would be... Fallout would be a much better theme than AHHba.
I think the theme of like Fallout is just universally loved, like post-apocalyptic dystopian future.
Mhm.
That's like the theme of so much stuff people like.
Yeah. And the theme of like what goes on in my head quite a bit, just in like, the outlook of life, which is nice.
It's really good. I think you'll like Fallout. It's pretty spectacular.
The first episode's great. Yeah, my history with the game is a buddy. Is that PlayStation 3 era or Fallout 3?
Oh, Fallout. Yeah, it's
Right.
got to be, right? Because was it New Vegas? Oh man,
I remember being
late 2000s.
Yeah, it was like a Sunday. I remember vividly him having a giant Quick Trip energy drink when they called it just like Energy Red or something like we didn't know back then. It was like right when Red Bull was hitting the market and people were like, oh, whatever, let's drink tons of this. So he had a giant like 64-ounce buddy of this red stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to drink this. And I was just like smoking pot in his living room all day while he's drinking this. So at the same time, he gets to like almost panic attack level of like, oh my God, what did I just drink? And I'm just slowly like passing out watching Fallout 3. And we were both slowly like amazed by that game. And then, New Vegas and everything. And not to turn into a Fallout podcast, but
I've made so many bad energy drink choices in my life. I have like a problem. I have also a near complete like immunity to caffeine, which is not probably a good thing. But
it's amazing.
Oh, dude, I used to drink a lot of Jolt and Red Bull in the 90s, like the original version. And then Balls in the late 90s, if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cricket, all these weird ones that you had to import. And so by the time the energy craze hit of like the early 2000s, you could start getting weird stuff. And I'm not a normal person. So you could start getting like caffeinated water. So I would be like making my own energy drinks with caffeinated water.
What the
just
fuck?
Like not intelligent things to do. I mean, I think when you're 20, you're like, I can't be killed.
No, but you can.
You're like,
yeah,
I cannot be killed by conventional means. And that was my thought process all the time. So I'd make these drinks that must have had, over 1,000 milligrams of caffeine.
Hell yeah.
And then just like I did overdo it one time though, and it was just a nightmare. I was like, yeah. So,
you were saying you overdosed on caffeine, like you?
Oh yeah, it's
nice.
so bad. It's like a whole different level of hell.
So if I can somehow relate this to pinball, and I'm not sure if I can. Can I? I think pinball lends itself very well. Well, I guess what I'm about to say, I'm preemptively seeing if I can get this, but it's in the realm of what we're talking about. I find pinball very stimulating, when I think a lot of the listeners do, and you do as well, but it's usually not for one reason. So it's a lot of different reasons, which lends itself well to people with, let's say, on the spectrum of ADHD type of thing is where I'm getting, which may or may not, or just people that find a lot of stimulation interesting, get bored easy, yada yada. And a lot of people who have wrote in or I've talked to, whether you or not, or similar. Call it what you want. Call it just let's call it ADHD, because that's where I'm getting. I was prescribed Ritalin yesterday, and yeah, sharp turn. Not that all of a sudden like, oh my God, it was. I've always been kind of in that realm of tested on the border, like since I was like 5 years old, of like, I'm very high functioning at whatever I want to do. Like I'll just do 500% of whatever it is, but it depends on my interest. Hence, like how this podcast sometimes is like, oh my God, I do 10 hours of editing. I have a robot voice. I got, people in the industry interviewing. I got Kale and Rachel. I got this. I'm on the Pinball Network. And it's like next week, I don't give a shit. And it's not like people have wrote in like, oh, depression. Like, no. I just suddenly like, no, now I want to master sports cars or whatever. It just changes. However, the older I get, I should say that the people that may have it or may not understand like the flip flop or change, like it's a very powerful tool for work. Great job when I need one, or a relationship for people I care about. I'm very loyal and all this stuff. But flip side, anything I don't care about, get the fuck out of here. I just don't care. But that cycle is it kind of accelerating the older I get. And so I've always been kind of tested on basically the middle of like, you can control it. If you ever want to try it, feel free, but no one's ever pushed me to it. They've always just mentioned it. They, as in like doctors or therapists or whatever, or friends and stuff, just like, oh, it's something. So I finally said like, I think I want to try it just to see if it's a tool in the toolbox that can help during the times of basically doing really boring dumb shit. I guess is the solution of I'm gonna try it tomorrow. I think is my thing, but I guess why I'm saying this is like I'm wondering if I take it, if I do, what I'm gonna feel like. Either I'm gonna be like, wow, bliss maybe, or I haven't done like medications like this in the past, so I have no idea. Now I've done plenty of experimental drugs, so I do know how powerful the mind can make things. I'm wondering what it's going to be like to play pinball on this shit.
Have you seen the movie Limitless?
if I take it and 2 hours later I feel like that, like I am gonna.
You just immediately start cleaning your room. You're just
man.
Hang on, let me get a more natural sunlight. But on a serious note, I think you're onto something to a degree, because almost everyone I know into pinball, and by that I mean really into pinball, you're listening to a pinball podcast, like you know who you are.
Yes, it's you who we're talking to.
You need that level of commitment and to a certain amount of insanity to want to buy mechanical glass refrigerators and then trade them like baseball cards.
And
like that's just a crazy commitment.
That's one realm, and I think we fit into that, and some of the people we buy and sell and trade. But then there's that other realm who are just the same in a way, but they will focus on Pinside and find people like you or I that go through games. You might not as quickly, but you were just as interested in as many different disparate pinball things, who are just like, hey, how are you not just happy with your Addams Family? Why wouldn't you bolt that for years and never wait, okay, so you're trolling Pinside, the world's most popular pinball website, paying attention to all the stuff, taking your time out of the day to give someone shit on their pinball habits, and you think you're doing okay? What are you doing? Yeah, I think most people I've gravitated towards in this just are usually, I'd say intelligent, have a lot of interest in a lot of different things, because we can all afford pinball machines or afford to have the luxury to talk about them. We've made some intelligent business choices in our life to, I don't think a lot of people, this is no offense, not a lot of people listening to the Pinball Party podcast are necessarily homeless. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I don't think so. I don't think that we cut into that demographic here.
No. And if you are, from being laid off or rift, like, hey, I've been there. I've laid off. I've been homeless in the past as well. It's not against, but it just, long-winded answer. I think there's a lot of similar ilk. And I don't know why I'm sharing that. It's just top of mind because we didn't plan this. I just sent you a text like, hey, I was going to go play pinball at Bad Penny today. And then I've been thinking about pinball like I do all the time. And it comes in bursts. And I was like, hey, let's just hit record and talk about pinball. So here we are.
I've kind of always thought that it attracts a certain engineer type of person, and maybe that's because I know most people that are engineers or programmers or people who have that certain mindset where they want to know how something works as much as what it does. And I think it just attracts that level of person because to really appreciate pinball, I think more than a video game, I think you have to appreciate just the tangible nature of it.
Exactly. Because they're so similar in the like, it's a game that doesn't mean anything to like the betterment of humanity or a moral choice. It's a task that keeps your attention. But hey, okay, before we get further in here, hello everyone. We said welcome,
Yes.
Jason, Zach. Zach is someone we met doing a trade a long time ago, and recently we've been doing the deep dive episodes. So if anyone's curious, join the Patreon, listen to those deep dives. Thank you to everyone out there who does. You'll hear Zach's voice mainly there. But I had been in the last couple of weeks just like not wanting to record or not having anything. But so we're doing this. But since this is your first time on the main show, we're going to have to get to know your balls real quick.
Okay.
We're getting to know your balls.
And it's been a long time since I've been able to use that little jam. We used to have guests on all the time. Yeah, thank you. So before we, find out information on ABBA and John Wick, Matrix, all the stuff we're going to talk about, we got a little bit to know about you to see why you're even talking here. So I got to find the list of these questions. I haven't done this since like 1986.
I was just trying to remember them all.
Yeah. All right. What do you prefer, location or home play?
Of course, home play. I mean, 100%.
Okay. What is your biggest fear in life aside from overdosing on caffeine?
Ooh, man, that's a deep cut. I'm a child of the 80s, right? And I feel like we all have our own weird ones. So I'll just go with the weirdest one that pops right in there. I'm a perfectly adjusted, normal human being who watched both Pet Sematary and Child's Play under the age of probably 8.
Okay.
And so I have a crippling fear of something small slashing my Achilles tendons from underneath something.
Wow, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I really do.
You ever walk past a table or a bed and you're just like, what if there's a little evil baby under there that's going to slash my Achilles tendon?
Yeah, no, never.
Okay,
which is
that's
awesome.
Amazing, I guess.
Yeah. I do have a very similar fear, not crippling by any means, and it's not a perpetuating thing. It's just a little story I heard once. It's very brief, of where, which let me say it, and then you'll see why I'm bringing this up.
Okay,
I don't remember if it became a fable or whatever, but this old woman used to every night before she went to bed would put her hand underneath her bed, and her little dog, her favorite dog, a little poodle who slept under there, every night would give her a kiss on the hand. Did that every night. One night, just like normal, went down, licked her hand. Next morning, dog had been dead for a week. Nothing under her bed. So basically something that, licked her hand in the middle of the night. That is my closest thing to like a small thing under a thing doing something to you that you wouldn't appreciate. So more than once in my life, in the middle of the night, I've thought, and I've had my hand dangling like, and I'm like, it pops in my head, and because I'm a 41-year-old man, I pull my hand up because what if? So
that's more where I'm at. It's not like a crippling like open water fear or something. It's more like randomly when you walk by something, you're like, what if there's a little evil baby under there? That's not a normal thought. I don't I don't think that's a normal thing people think of.
Yeah, that's why I totally appreciate that. What is your favorite era of pinball?
I think, this is interesting because we've talked about this in our deep dives. And I think that realistically, I would have always, until I don't know when exactly the switch changed, but I would have always said the 90s. But I think realistically now we can just say modern. I think at this point, the games of the last 10 years are better overall than the games of the 90s, which is probably a pretty hot take for the middle of a normal podcast. But yeah, I mean, I think that's just where we are. I think the people who still love the 90s games more than the modern games, I think are people that don't want deeper rules for whatever reason that is, right? Like nostalgia, a playability, and that's not a get good statement. It's just it's a varying skill
good,
statement.
Bro.
Like I don't know how get good. I mean, like if you don't want to get good, and you just want to play a couple of games and have a nice, beautiful collection, I think Bally Williams are phenomenal. They're just loaded. They look amazing, but I want to play my games. So modern.
Yep. So I know that the last time I did this was with Canada, to get to know your balls. The reason I know is because in my notes, my next question is, why are you an asshole? And I know that was specific for him. Hey man, if you're listening, it's tongue in cheek. But yeah, this was on. I can't remember if I asked him this or not. But
Man, that's good
yeah,
stuff.
no. For what it's worth, I find his podcast very entertaining. All right, like, love, or hate fixing games.
Did I tell you about the first time I met him in person? Ever?
Canada? No.
Oh man, it's like so exactly what you think. I met him back in like 2017 or something at a pinball show, and he was wearing like Gucci loafers and had like it was just exactly what you expect. Like
Good.
I don't know what to explain, but yes, that image that you have in your head is correct.
Hey, at least he's consistent, which is more than
He
the
is.
pinball party is. And probably why, he's very successful in the podcast. All right. So yeah, do you love, or hate fixing games?
You know, I don't mind it. I think I dislike it more than I used to 5 years ago.
Yeah, me
But
too.
I think it's I've been doing it so long, right? Like I've owned games and had to fix them for so long that I think I'm at the point now where I'm like, it doesn't bother me. I don't have a problem. Like it's similar to what you were saying earlier. Once I'm started, I'm in. Once I'm working on a pinball machine, time just kind of disappears, and
Yep.
maybe I've been working on it for 3 or 4 hours, but I'm never like, I don't do the thing I used to do where I get out all my tools and I'm like, I'm gonna work on games all day today.
Oh, right. I guess I've never done that, but I get the sentiment.
You have to do it less when you own less old games, right? Like I've done full teardown games on some old games like Bobby Orr and stuff, but when you own modern Stearns, you have to work on games less.
Yep. Do you have any horror stories of the secondary market?
I mean, oh yeah, I have one that's really bad actually. It's kind of funny that you would get a kick out of. I'm sure I told you. I don't know if he's in the hobby anymore, so I don't remember his name because it was long enough ago. I got the Alice Cooper out of Tilt, right? From
Okay.
John back in the day. John used to sell all of his games. He had a very really smart business model. He's just a great guy. He would buy all of the pros. Then he would also buy the LE. He'd get the LE in and then sell the pro, right? When he was kind of getting more going in the beginning, he didn't keep all the pros and put them in other locations, which is what I think he does now.
Sure.
And he got Alice Cooper and hated it. I mean, he hated it, but it's mostly because it's a spooky and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
he took it apart a ton of times and put it back together, and he just was like, I'm done with this. And he sold it to me really cheap. And so I went up, got it, brought it back, got it working, and then went through, I think we may have talked about this, that journey of trying to make a spooky work the first, month it's
Oof.
new,
Yeah.
which is, whoo, boy, is that a journey. So it was really painful. And after I got it completely working and I was really happy, kind of enjoying the game, there released a new code update that just like straight up near bricked my game. And I had to like basically kind of redo a whole bunch of work because Alice Cooper's kind of a house of cards. And I just didn't have it in me. I just didn't have it in me. I was done. And so I listed it for sale. And a guy from some small town in western Minnesota, I'm not protecting his identity to
Right.
protect the innocent. I don't remember. And I was like, hey, I'll sell it to you crazy cheap. It was out of Tilt. In case you don't know, everyone, the play count on pinball machines is not accurate. I'm going to say this to
Even
whoever
Spike
is
2.
listening. Even Spike 2. I can connected story. I have a Star Wars Pro that I have no idea how many plays it has on it. It says 80,
Yeah.
but that ain't
It,
accurate.
it
Well,
doesn't even
100,
have
but
Insider connected, right? Or I mean, it didn't. It was one of the ones before.
yeah, it didn't. It has way more than that, but it says 80. But it looks great, so you would never know. So it has 100. But
Hmm.
Alice Cooper, Spooky, same thing. They don't track play counts very well. So it said like whatever since the last time I'd been working on it. And I said, hey, it has probably thousands of plays, but I sold to him really cheap, like 5-ish grand or something, low fives, just because I didn't want to deal with it. And I was like,
Yep.
look, I'll give you a crazy deal. You're gonna have to fix it. This is a journey. And he was like, oh, great. So he took it, fixed it. I'm going to put in quotes because I don't know. And then listed it as home use only, brand new.
Oh.
And I was like, whoa. And you got to understand how rare Alice Cooper was at the time. Like, there were probably like 15 to 20 in the country. And so I had people immediately reaching out to me. Well, did you sell it to this guy as new? And John contacted me and he's like, hey, why did you sell it to this guy saying it was new? I'm pretty sure this is the one that I had. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't.
Right.
And then he was trying to sell it to Zach Meny.
Interesting.
And so then I had to call Zach and be like, hey, Zach, that's not new. It probably has thousands of plays on it. I don't know why this guy's doing this. I gave him a good deal. And so I got sucked into this weird secondary market hell just because I was being nice to a guy and sold him a game cheap, and it's a spooky and it doesn't track plays. So that's always fun.
On the flip side, I assume this is a different answer. What's your favorite game?
Man,
Yeah.
it changes enough for me. I think similar to you, I think mine actually does change because I've owned so many games, and so sometimes I have a recency bias that I'm sure just takes over.
Yep.
But I would have said Foo Fighters because I that the game shoots so phenomenally well. I think it displaced a couple other older ones, but man, I feel like a real Jason here. Might be Star Wars, I guess.
Whoa.
At
Yeah,
the
I would never
moment,
even say. Yeah, I would never even say Star Wars. But hey,
well,
more power to you.
Look, I obviously like Richie Dwight games, right? I've owned a Game of
Yeah.
Thrones for 5 years.
You
And
like
it does
Black
the
Knight?
same. Yeah, I love Black Knight. Man,
Yeah.
well, I'm breaking into news there, but I'm excited
Yeah.
to see that they're making more Black Knights, and I'm an idiot. Maybe I'll buy one.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that in a second. Two more questions before we get to that. What's your least favorite game? It can't be
Oh.
Alice Cooper. I mean, it could be, but
It's not going to be Alice Cooper, but I mean, it would be a strong contention between uh, the Sega Star Wars, which I think is unbelievably miserable. I think we talked about that in some episode recently. It's so bad. Maybe Thunderbirds.
ooh.
Maybe it's so bad that it's almost like picking on a poor defenseless child.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if not that one, then it has to be some '90s Data East or Sega Star Wars.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, the theme is hard to get over, but I just want to talk about Black Knight now because that's great. Thanks for letting us get to know your balls. All right,
Thank
yeah,
you.
Black Knight getting remade is a strong word. It's getting a very
Yeah.
limited, like a few more pros. I think it's only the pros, right? Which is
That's
all
what
you.
I think I said.
Yeah, let me see what Nap Arcade.
Yeah, what does that say?
I just found out more information on Stern Pinball's. Okay, so there's an update as of like whatever. Here we go. Nap Arcade, by the way, KNAPP Arcade. If you want to get news, go there. Jason Knapp is awesome. Stern has both versions of James Bond Pro and Premium on the production line. Why is he talking about that? Blah,
That's
blah,
weird.
blah, blah. In May, Stern is definitely going to be running its next Cornerstone game. Okay, hey-o, breaking news, but we kind of knew that. In June, Stern is running the aforementioned Black Knight Pros as well as Jaws Pro and Premium. Okay, so yeah, the Black Knight Sword of Rage Pro only, which most people, including myself, and I don't want to speak for you, but I believe like Pro is the only way to go in Black Knight Sword of Rage, and it is one of them where it's not like people say the Pro is better because it's cheaper and they want to be like, oh, I want to feel like this is better. It's not where a pro is better, like Turtles, where the differences are very subtle and like, you could maybe flip a coin if the prices are the same, give or take. I know Turtles is a little different, but or Iron Maiden, where there's differences, but it's pretty close, and I can see an argument either way on Iron Maiden. Jurassic Park, similar. Godzilla, similar. Where sometimes people say the pro, and it's like, yeah, but Godzilla Premium it's kind of better objectively, but Black Knight is like the complete opposite, where on the pro, yes, you don't have an upper playfield, which is people, the old hats, the boomers, if you will. Black Knight needs to have an upper playfield, otherwise it's not Black Knight. Great. Say that as much as you want, and then see you later. On Black Knight Sword of Rage, the game is all about speed and flow and fast and fun, and that's what it's simple, and that's what makes it good. The upper playfield changes that fundamentally. It puts this very easy, slow, boring thing to do. Yes, it adds a multi-ball, but I mean, do you have any, before we keep going on?
It's the worst upper playfield in definitely at least modern history, but I think you're hit it on the head, because this is a debate that rages on Pinside like every day. I think I got sucked into one in the Bond owners thread the other day. And
but you are, I mean, just a full disclosure, you're a little more troll-like than I am on Pinside. You go in there and you poke.
It's like trolling trolls. I'm not exactly a troll, but if people are trolling other people, then I'm going to interject myself, because it's just, people say such ridiculous things. And the reality, the internet is not a place for like nuanced rhetoric, right? Like, you can't have a nuanced conversation. And the reality is, most modern pinball machines since the advent of Pro Premium LE are all good. I
sure,
like, if you cut off the top and bottom, most of them are quite good. So inherently the difference between a pro and premium is not great, right? Like, it's a pretty close buffer. So when you say I like the pro more, the premium more, there's room for people to like both. I like plenty of pros more than I like premiums. But when you come in and make a really weird statement in the Bond thread, like the pros not the pros terrible and it's because you're poor, or like,
oh right, yeah, then you got to come
in. You only own a pro because you only like the pro more because you own it, and you're like, yeah, I bought the one I like more. Like, what kind of that's the dumbest statement ever. You own a premium.
God, people are like, just the worst.
It's just a weird logic trap to get stuck in, except for this. To get it back to Black Knight.
Yes,
this is one of those ones where the upper playfield's so bad. Like, why would you want a Black Knight premium over a pro? If you like it, I'm glad that it exists for you.
And I get that you appreciate that. No, and the first time I played Black Knight Sword of Rage, I didn't even know it was, because I played it at Tilt, now called Lit, as we were aforementioned earlier, and they had I think it's probably the LE, that's always LEs there, and they had the upper playfield, and I played the game, and I remember getting up there and like, I was very bored with it, and I didn't know anything about the game or the pro. And then later is when I got the pro on like kind of like I had it for a day and I fell in love with it. Go listen to, did we do a deep dive on this?
On Black Knight? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go listen to go give us money and Patreon, Pinball Party, and go listen to us talk about this much more in depth than we were somewhat talking about now. But Black Knight Sword of Rage
get sucked into talking about.
Oh God, it's such a good game.
And I was texting you about it earlier. I it's not that like I want it, but I'm just gonna say, if they could do a small code update, thank you. Just Oliver, twist me here. Please, sir, can I have some more?
I didn't even need that. I just right away texted Zach, the other Zach. I was Zach Many from Flipping Up Pinball. You text me that they're rerunning it. I had heard in the past. You text me. This is exactly where I was. I was at the doctor about to get prescribed. I was in the waiting room. You text me like, oh, I immediately text Zach from Flipping Up Pinball. Hey Zach, I need a Black Knight Sword of Rage.
When I buy my pinball shit, I buy from Flipping Out. From toppers, hard plates, re-outs, I've got it figured out. Flipping out, figured out. When I think of pinball, I think flipping out. Flipping out, figured out. When I buy from Flipping Out. Buy.
Now, most likely, he doesn't have any left because it's a very limited run. But the whole roundabout point to this is Stern is not remaking the Premium or LE. It's like if this was a few years in the future and they had to remake Godzilla or do another run, or like Stranger Things, most people are like, let's just do the premium. That's all that people want. Black Knight, they know, like most people want the pro because it is just
I think it's a sales
better.
indicator, right? Because they did it
Right.
with Guardians too. Why didn't they make more Guardians premiums?
Wow, that's one.
All they got to
yeah,
do is put 2 spinners in there
well,
like-
in the hands.
in the hands.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so Black Knight sort of
Sorry, I got
getting-
myself there. It's such a bad premium. Okay, go ahead.
it is a bad premium, and the Black Knight is also a bad premium. That's one that I've like wanted. I've looked at Black Knight LEs because it's similar to, I mean, Lord of the Rings or games that I love, where like I might get the LE just because it's a game I absolutely love. But Black Knight is one of those where it would be objectively worse. The art would be cool, and the backs.
I played the LE
back
a lot.
box.
I just I
And that
don't
big- ugh. No, it's
no.
bad. It's not the same game. It changes too many. To listen to more about why the Pro is better, aside from Stern saying, "Hey, we're remaking it, the one that people want, the Pro," go listen to the deep dive on Patreon. And if you really want a game, go check out Flippin' Out Pinball, who probably doesn't have any. I have one on order, but hey, appreciate it, Zach, and I'm looking forward to it. You and I have both owned the same. Wait, did I have a Black Knight and I sold it to you?
You had my Black Knight, and yes,
second
I traded
time.
you my Black Knight the second time,
Right. Okay.
And for Guardians of the Galaxy, which you I think hated.
I didn't hate. It's not. It's over time. I've never hated it, but I was like, nah, I don't see what it's in here. There is things about Guardians though that I've played since then that I have liked much more. I like
It has
Guardians.
huge risk reward moments,
Yes,
but the package is bad, right? Like all the assets.
that's all bad, and the theme is like it's fine. I like Guardians. Who doesn't? It's like it's fine. It's passable. If you did the thing where you flipped the theme of Guardians of the Galaxies and Star Wars in Star Wars Pro, I think Guardians would be like a keeper. I'm like, wow, it's Star Wars, but a slightly easier shooter. Some more like Guardians has a lot going on in it, and some of the rules are very Star Trekky, as you know, kind of like just shoot the shot, hit the lid shot. But there's more to it. Without getting into Guardians,
Yeah, we're not doing a Guardians deep dive here. Sorry, everybody.
I don't think ever. I don't know if I can do it ever. I'll be like, it's fine.
I could do it. I mean, like
Yeah.
I love it though. I've owned it many years, and 2 of them.
So I traded you a Guardian, but I only got the Guardians because you wanted it. Otherwise, I didn't want it.
Correct.
I had to
Yep,
confirm the
that's-
trade before. What did I get for that? How did I get that Guardians?
Man, you were working some crazy like
I was like a
three-way
four-way
deal
thing.
with
It was
like
nuts.
Ghostbusters, and
Oh shit!
it was a while ago.
Man, some of those spider webs of trades get weird. I would love to call one out on here that I got screwed on, but I won't because I don't trust that person to say their name publicly. But yeah. Anyway, so we had the same Black Knight. Oh man, this is not a Black Knight deep dive, but the Black Knight I got from you, you replaced the rubbers, you babied it. Okay, man, I just want to talk about Black Knight. And I don't even think we talked about this in the deep dive, but what I was about to get at is my favorite thing about Black Knight, aside from the simplicity of the rules, my God, I want to play this game so bad right now, is
So good.
it is one of the lightest play fields, and I mean that literally, when you lift it up, and it has this sense of like, it's so simple, it's easy to clean, it's easy to maintain, the mechs don't really go bad, it's such a low cost of entry, aside from the price, because it's still $7,000. That aside, it is such an easy game to trade, sell, move on, because it stays in the low sixes. Everyone wants it for a little bit. They get bored with it and they move it on. And since there's so little out there, it's a very safe game to have. And while you have it, you can, the mods you do to it, or you can shine it up, clean it, just replace the rubbers. It's just so easy to get to. And all those little things is what I'm just like, man, I really appreciate that.
I had a weird thought about it recently, just to tie in, because whenever I was playing Venom, those games like, and this is not an Elwyn thing, right? Like Elwyn doesn't do this, where there's instead of lane guides down low, it's all rubbers. And Steve Ritchie will do that from time to time. And Black Knight has all rubbers kind of in the bottom third of the playfield.
It's a
So
bouncy
you get a lot of
game.
side to side yeah, a lot of side to side movement. It's bouncy. And Venom does the same thing, right? Tons of lower third side to side.
Except for that game is
But
bad. That's
but
a
I
big
hate
difference.
it.
Yeah.
And that's why I was bringing up, like, I hate the side to side in Venom, but yet I love it in Black Knight. I don't, that this isn't a deep thought or anything. I'm just like, why?
Yeah. Well,
Why, Jason?
there is a couple shots though in Venom that I do appreciate. Horseshoe, but let's not even talk about Venom.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm like, why do I like it in Black Knight? Is it the whole thing?
It's a better game.
It's a better game? Must be.
Yeah. I mean, it's a better game. It's. I'm looking at the playfield. It's the center pinwheel, if you will, of how the rules are set up. It's very simple. It's a very goddamn shallow game, hence your call out for a code update, which I hope so as well. And yes, the premium LE has an added catapult multi-ball, but there's so much charm to its simplicity. The way you
I love the game.
Yeah.
To be clear, I don't think it needs a code update. It's just more one of those things like, when you don't need something and someone is like, here, have this thing.
Like Jurassic Park.
Makes it even better. Yeah.
Yeah, when they updated that, like, oh, okay, sure.
Have a right out lane save, Jason.
Oh,
happy
should have
birthday.
been there from the beginning. I know exactly what I would like in the Black Knight Sword of Rage Pro code update. I know I'm looking at it right now, the playfield, just falling in love with it again. The thing that I love the most about Iron Maiden, which my first Black Knight Sword of Rage I traded for, was the fact that all the supers in Iron Maiden are something like Jaws, where like you collect over time, and once you get them, you have them. Super spinners, super ramps, super loops, I forget what they're called, in Iron Maiden. You collect them, it's part of the game. It's like you get it and then X. In Black Knight, there is that. There's super pops, super slings, super spinners, I forget all the supers in there. But you have to get it in one ball, and then once you drain, it's all gone. It's just like, okay, you get them. And correct me if I'm wrong, like that's it. Like you don't get perks from them. Do you? It's just like this. I might have to look this up. But you know what I'm referring to? It's like this progression in Black Knight Sword of Rage is like, aside from the modes and the multi-ball that you work towards.
Yeah, it's the bottoms. Okay, I know what you're talking about, but I'm trying to think about it.
But you look it up, I look it up while we're talking. It's like there's this long-term progression that's missing in Black Knight to where I wish some of it was persistent. Like if you get a super something, it does something like Jurassic Park where you collect a dinosaur, a paddock, you clear it, or in Iron Maiden you get it, and then, hey, something has changed. But here it's like, I don't know. Super modes.
I think those things are kind of like up and down. They can be positive or they can give you extra incentive. Sometimes that makes games like front loaded if the ball bonus carries all the way through the game. If you take like a Lonnie Rop thing like in Guardians or Stranger Things, where you can build up your bonus and then it kind of carries with you through the entire game, so you get more incentivized to build up your bonus multipliers.
Yes,
because it's huge amount of points. Or you can have a thing like Elwyn does, where like on Jaws, for example, when you close a beach, you collect the beachgoers and close a beach, you start a beach close hurry up. And when you collect that hurry up for that closing that beach, a percentage of that score is converted into a bonus for that shot, for that for that ball, right? So like, which is around 20% or so. So like if you hit it at 15 million right away, you get 3 million a shot for that shot, but just for that ball. And I think that those can be good because it incentivizes you to, have a really great ball, but they can be bad. I don't know which one's better, but I think it's good to have different.
Yeah,
is good.
It is good, but I think that's like you said, you don't need a code update, and I don't really either for Black Knight, but just a little something. Reading quickly up on the super stuff to remember. Yeah, it's like once the ball drains, that's it. It's a scoring thing.
Don't the slingshots change it, or am I confusing games?
Do they change what?
The active super, or is that the spinner? Oh, man, I haven't owned a Black Knight in a while.
There's a super mode of slings. So there's super lanes, super slings, super spinners, super orbits, super targets, super pops. They can be started.
I thought you could change which one you got, but I must be crazy.
Maybe, but I thought like, correct us. We're probably wrong. Email in. The other thing that I would love to be changed is the war hurry up that I actively avoid it because I'm like, war, and the music is cool and I get it, but like, I don't want to hit it. You already have to hit those targets enough to like do the game, and they're very, very dangerous. And like I want to, but it's like this. It's a little bit of points. Does it help me in the end? Again, if you're really milking all the points in this game.
If you want a good game, I think you have to avoid quite a bit of that stuff. Like you've had some pretty good games, right? Like 400 or 500 million.
It's been a long time, probably.
Yeah, that would be pretty good, I think, if I was just going to take a guess in the dark.
Okay.
But like, yeah, I think that it does turn into a game of risk aversion.
Yeah,
is what I'm getting at. Like you're gonna play it safer. You're not gonna do dumb things like that. It's but I mean, it's good to have a game like that. That's how you play TNA. We did a deep dive on TNA, and that's very similar. Like, what do you do in TNA? Oh, you trap up, get the ball in the right flipper. Start making some multi-ball locks. Black Knight's very similar.
Well, Black Knight Sword of Rage is getting a limited run, very limited from all the distributors. So if you want one, call around, grab one. It just seems like it's just MSRP for normal pros.
Can I get a request for anyone listening? Can we get the same thing for an Iron Man?
Oh, God.
Hey, Stern.
Please.
Hey, Stern.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? What would it take? I mean, I know that it's not Spike 2. That's probably the problem.
I don't care. I don't need it to be. Iron Man is the only one that, I've posted of like, hey, I'm looking for one. But Black Knight, Iron Man, Walking Dead Pro are all kind of like the $6,000 hard games that are like, those should all be traded evenly between each other. Maybe Iron Man is the least amount because there's the least in it, but all scratch a very similar itch. Walking Dead's actually quite a bit deeper than both of them. It's a whole nother, that's a whole other thing, which you're doing a deep dive on. But yeah, Iron Man is so good. Whew, boy. Yeah, please redo that game. All right, on the flip side of Stern's Black Knight Sword of Rage, Abba.
Abba? Is it Abba or Abba? I've been thinking this has been occupying a corner of my brain space for a week.
Oh, that's a problem.
Do you know? Look, you're similar to me. Like you get stuck on something mentally and you're like, but then I keep forgetting to check. I know in America, I think everyone I ever talk to says Abba, but I just
Abba.
Is that right?
Is there here? I'm on Reddit. What is the proper way to say ABBA? Abba. They say Abba. So
they say
okay,
Abba?
let's say it's
I thought
Abba.
it was.
Great. Now we're correct. Who cares? That's my still feeling on the whole game. I'm in the US, so Abba doesn't tickle my fancy.
What do you think of the gameplay, the extremely limited amount of gameplay videos?
Fine. That's how I feel.
I'm sorry.
What do you think? You think amazing? With
10 points for delivery. Yeah. I mean, it's gameplay. Look. I think compared to Queen, the gameplay I've seen of Queen, it looks better. I think the gameplay looks even to some degree could be good. I think there's some interesting things there. I like the way the ramp return on the left. I think that's an interesting ball mechanism. There's things going on in here that I kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite Elton John, but it's not $13,000 in terms of like pizzazz, right? Because I think that's a safe comparison with all the lights and everything they're doing. But it's so hard. I would play this on location. Yeah, it would be such a theme aside. Let's just say I'm neutral on the theme because I kind of am. I'm not excited to play this game.
Fuck no! It's goddamn Abba. Again, even if this was Beatles, I'm not a big Beatles guy, but any band theme, like I get it for the people that love it, awesome, and I'm happy this is for you. I'm sure there's huge ABBA fans out there, but this is as someone who's a musician or into it, not as like a ego thing, but like these kind of things don't do anything for me. Where like we got these gold records that look like crash cymbals, so when I see this, I'm like, are those Zildjian or Sabian? What are these symbols?
You're hitting on my Rush. You're hitting on my Rush thing entirely, right? And I know we've talked about this.
But I love Rush.
Because well, that's the thing. I know you love Rush because you know drums, right? Like the drums are amazing.
Hell yeah.
So I get that. I just personally don't care for Rush the band that much, but they have an entire like ethos, right? Like there's a whole world building thing going on that I don't understand. And when I play that game, there's like a Corvette and like a clock, like something that looks like a washing machine. I don't understand, but at the end of the day, I really like the game.
Game shoots like a son of a bitch.
I love the way it shoots. It shoots amazing. I love what Ray Day is doing. I think it's Ray Day, right, on the code on there. I really enjoy that.
He's created a new level of mathematics in that game. Yeah.
It's a really good game, so I don't have to know why there's a Corvette, and I don't care.
And AHHba, maybe it is for some people, but AHHba is not like prog rock, or this isn't an insult. I guess maybe it is where I am, maybe overseas. Kinda. It's just, fuck, I don't care. And for, what are they charging? I mean, what? The minimum is $6,000.
Something.
Right? 10? Get out of here. What are you doing?
It's 10 something, right?
It looks
10.5.
It looks spectacular, like the lights, and like, yeah, I get it. Like, okay, but you're competing with fucking Star Wars and Lord of the Rings as themes, and
they're competing against themselves. The same company makes Alien for $8,000.
Oh man, and you're a big Alien fan. You've owned it.
I think it is a really good game. I think there's a really great game in Alien, and that's where I think some people who haven't maybe played a lot of Pinball Brothers games don't immediately recognize the tech in ABBA when looking at it, because it has the same base tech. It's a different system, I think, but the same base level of tech in terms of inductive sensors, so it doesn't have rollovers, because Alien has induction sensors. And inductive sensors, and then the stand-ups light up. They have LEDs, but they're different. They're not like a regular leaf switch stand-up. So they light up with the code, and it can be more integrated into the code. Like there is a good base level system. I think some people don't love the flippers on Pinball Brothers games, but this has two-stage flippers more similar to what you're accustomed to, and the early edition Aliens did not.
And for those two-stage flippers, what is that? What is the fault?
So the like when you play Stern, right? The two-stage leaf system in the flipper behind the flipper buttons makes it so that it engages between low and high and low power, and that's what makes it so that you can slightly let go of the button to stage your flipper.
Yep.
The first Alien games they made were just a one stage on off, and it kind of did the hold based on software. Some other company was doing this, but it made it so that you couldn't stage the upper flipper on the first run of Aliens. And maybe still the Ripley edition. I can't answer that, but like, so if you wanted to like slightly stage the right flipper to drop the upper flipper to hit that ramp, you would not be able to do that on most Aliens in existence.
Thank you.
It's a weird thing.
ABBA. Now I'm saying, I don't even like saying ABBA. It feels like my mouth is falling.
It feels like you're a baby. Like it feels like weird baby talk. I don't like it.
I'm gonna go back to ABBA. I feel better saying ABBA.
Wisconsin,
ABBA.
You know what? Let's just pretend we're American.
Yeah,
we're probably right.
ABBA. So on the flip side of my first gut reaction is ABBA. Who cares? Oh, now I feel weird saying ABBA. I'm gonna switch it around. ABBA. I'll pick and choose. Okay, the scoop. I like a good scoop. Contrary to maybe Mr. Keith Elwin, I love the scoop in Deadpool, which is one of my favorite, and this looks to be almost the exact same spot, which I like. The helicopter, don't care. The ramps, it was kind of a fan layout. What I'm getting at is there's a world where, yes, I see it, I don't care. That in the future, this becomes a game where like people overlook it, including myself, write it off, but like, it turns out to be fucking incredible. Like Black Knight Sword of Rage. We're like, nah, it's simple, it's whatever. You're paying attention to the wrong thing. The theme of Black Knight's cool, but we're like, nah. Or Walking Dead. We're like, nah, you don't give the time of the day, and then wait. It's a player's game. The rules are incredible. Theme aside, or like an Iron Maiden. Like, yeah, the theme is not great for everyone, but guess what? That game is fucking 10 out of 10. I see a world where ABBA becomes this one where like you text like, oh my god, I played it, was incredible, or Kale or friends just you start to be like, it's great. That might
This
happen.
is a weird one because I hear a lot of people really really downplaying this game. I think a lot of people are like, oh, this is a phoned in, this layout looks terrible. And just looking at the photos of this layout, I'm not ready to say that. It is not a bad layout. If you think this is a bad layout, I've got news for you. Like there are plenty of bad phoned in layouts made by Stern and JJP.
Oh
I'm not
man,
going to call it any directly, but like
Venom,
this,
but yeah.
yeah, I mean, this is like I think Venom is a good example. As long as we're going to pick one that everyone equally agrees we can all crap on,
Mm-hmm.
um, this is not as bad as the Venom layout. Like I don't. There is interesting things here. I don't 100% agree, and it's not a fan layout. There's a third flipper, and there's a spinner. Like so, that should feel good. There's drop targets. I'm not going to immediately write this off. You know, like when you showed me GNR, right? Like the JJP Guns N' Roses, and
Yep.
I looked at it and I saw a scoop in the middle of the playfield.
Perfect.
I was like,
Yeah.
this is awful. I just immediately knew that I would hate playing the game. And
Oh, and look,
it
that came true.
confirmed.
Yes.
It came true. I don't get that from this.
Let me toss another layout at you. This is for the sake maybe slightly of entertainment, but I'm not lying. We're like, a recent Stern or whatever that has a bad layout, and I agree that like Abba has a fine layout, and it could be go either way. Let's see what the gameplay happens. If I'm thinking of games I've played recently, they're like, the layout, not that great. Jaws. Now,
Oh man.
yeah, and I'm hitting you with Jaws because I'm still in the in-between phase of like, I've played it a few times. I'm not getting it. I was the same way in the very beginning with Jurassic Park, but the more experienced I get with games, the more like I'm confident in some of my opinions, and I want Jaws to be that thing, and I'm maybe that's why I'm front loading to where I can change my mind and I love it. Jaws? You have one. So tell me that that's a great layout.
I actually love the layout. I'm a big Jaws fan, and to preface this, because I get it, Pinside is full of people who say it's because you own it. But I liked it before I owned it. And I went into this Jaws thing at a 0, like just a complete flat line. I'm not an Elwyn guy. To be
You're
honest,
not. Yeah.
I didn't own an Elwyn before Jaws. I've owned every Elwyn and sold it.
Yeah.
So like I'm not predisposed to loving Elwyn. I think he makes good games. You can do both. You can make good games and yet they're not for me exactly. And but Jaws really stuck with me. I like it more than any other Elwyn I've owned. And the layout is super interesting, which really blew me away because I thought similar to what you're saying. I looked at the photos and I was like, it kind of looks like Godzilla. I'm not super into this.
I guess the wide openness to it, sure.
Yeah, the openness, and it's kind of in terms of layout of shots, not in terms of total layout, but it has a fanish quality, a center focus shot with, shots breaking out from it, right? With ramps on the left and right.
Yep.
And that's what Godzilla is. And it's similar to that, but when you start playing it, especially the premium, the ball paths on the upper playfield are so good. The two reel spinners are just great. I love how the center shot changes. The captive ball on the premium is a little harder because it's inclined, so you have to hit it a little bit better than on the pro. And when you get into things on later in the rules with the bounty hunt multi balls, when it starts changing into a shark more often, it really kind of adds some. It changes up that layout. I think the layout is very interesting. It looks very simple, but you just find these really cool places where you do certain things to get the ball to go certain places. Like if the game plays correctly and you hit the real shot, the ball will go over to the little mini flipper, which then you can, if you're building on your shark fin shots, which the multipliers go up the more you make in a row, you can get to try to make that mini lane shot. So there's like weird combos, and the Quince challenge combos are really fun. I don't know if you played it enough to kind of get all these things,
I haven't.
but the Quince challenge is that the right in lane, and you'd have to read how to start it. It kind of tells you, but it then lights shots in different combination orders, and then you have to hit those combos. Kind of like a fighting game teaching you how to do a combo.
Sure. Yeah,
it'll
the
light,
difference
like-
there is, I want to pick on that for a second. The things about combos in some of these games where, and I don't know if this is there, but I get combos in fighting games, but there is a layer of combos in fighting games where it's like people just don't want to spend time doing it because it is such a precise. It's a barrier at a certain level. Like it's different. The overall, like let's use like Street Fighter for example. Jump over them right to the back to kick and then land and do like a dragon punch or a fireball. A 2 or 3 hit combo, sure. Mortal Kombat sweep uppercut. I mean that's not really a combo, but you get what I mean. A couple, sure. And then maybe Tekken you do like a 5-hit combo, or Dragon Ball Z and you hit one button you get. But then there's that level of like 12 hit combos in Street Fighter where you do a couple moves, then you pause, then you hit back, then down, then pause, then Dragon Punch, cancel out of that, then do a fireball, then another Dragon Punch, but you got to do it with a medium punch instead of a low punch. Where like, all right, you have to be very committed to be able to do this. And you're just using buttons. You put that level of combos in pinball where, again, it's 2 buttons, but like physics and all these things, some of that to me is like, yeah, combos is like...
First, Jason, I know that if you are able to do it, you've enjoyed watching some kid's soul leave his body as you do a 10 throw combo on Armor King in Tekken.
I remember the 9-hit combo as what's his name? Not Devil Kazuya. Jin. Who's the other guy? I'm thinking of Tekken 2.
It's been so long.
I remember spending just hours in Tekken 2 trying to do this 9 or 10 hit combo. Oh my God, with my buddy Brian.
The throws, I could do the 10 throw combos, and I could do the Nina arm break combos where you just like break their arm for 30 seconds while they just sit there and watch you do it.
Well, there's the level of a couple hits, and then there's the like what's his name, Street Fighter 3 in the tournament where he just the parries like Chun-Li's super. The Evo
moment 37.
Right, there's that. Some of these combos in pinball, like Keith or whatever, is no insult, but like if you miss it once and you're toast.
So this isn't I think it's Elizabeth who might be doing this part of the code. But to your point, to get back on track here, it's not like that. It's just another smart missile moment, right? Like Jurassic Park, to bring it back to something I know that you love, where it goes back into that Quince challenge, it holds the ball there, and it lights like 2 shots. It'll light the center shot and the right ramp. And then you get an amount of time to make those 2. And if you do, it's like, here, have some points, and you feel good about it. And then when you do it again, it's like Simon,
Sure.
Red, blue, green. And that's all it is. And if you don't make it, you just, you continue playing the game, or it's just another fun mini game that you kind of pass by on the highway.
Are the rules, though, this is what's kind of getting to me. I, again, love pinball. I'm doing a pinball podcast. So let me preface with that before, you don't understand pinball. I do. The rules seem obtuse. Not that I can't keep up with deep rules. For example, similar to Godzilla, Godzilla's a little different where Godzilla, you just hit a shot and you're qualifying like 5 different things, which like that's a different, okay, I get it. I see why it's the feel of those slippers I don't like in Godzilla. That's a different story altogether. But why I think Jurassic Park is like the sweet spot is like, it's a very clear thing of what you're doing, whatever it may be, in my opinion. Again, but I've played a lot of it. But even the first couple times when someone explains it to me, I get the majority of the game. I totally get it. Even if I don't know all the perks or the reasons, I get the progression. I get how to get to a certain goal. Same with Iron Maiden. Start a mode or collect these things. And then on the side, there's all these little whatevers. In Jaws, similar maybe to somewhat in Avengers, where Avengers of the Grid is just like, excuse me, what am I doing? Jaws is like, all right, you do this and you hit that and you get that and these things are colored, but like you might get kind of a shark later, and then like Quinn's challenge, who cares about him, and then you'll get these points and you do this and your bonus will get there. I'm like, whoa. are we collecting sharks as the main thing to get like 6 sharks and then you fight Jaws, or are we just chipping away at Jaws for a while and on the side we're doing some chum shit? Is there a very simple way to describe this to someone like me who
Yes.
is just like,
It's incredibly easy. I think that what happens is it's there is a lot of mini games like Quinn's Challenge. I don't think that they hit you the same way that they do in Godzilla, like tanks or
yeah,
fighter jets or
do it
whatever.
this way. Pick another game that myself and a lot of listeners know, whether it's Godzilla, something that's been any designer, Tron, Iron Man, Black Knight. Try to compare it to something. So what is
I
what
think
is Quinn's Challenge closer
to Jurassic Park, and honestly, because it's more narrative driven. It is a very narrative rule
What's the
structure.
narrative?
It's not linear like original Ghostbusters code where you have to play it the same way, but basically you go out on the boat and to a degree you can start a bounty hunt at the right ramp, and then you pick what shark you want to hunt for. This is like just happens while you're playing the game, and the shark that you hunt for, you have to, in the top left, like Iron Maiden, it'll say you need 1 pop bumper,
Collect
3
stuff.
boats, 100 spinners. Yeah, collect those things.
Which,
And-
let me tell you, before you keep going, and I love this, everything I've seen in that game, that is the one thing that stands out to me of like, that's the only thing I want to do because it makes sense to me.
It's good. But that's the thing, is that's the base level of makes sense. So you're doing that bounty hunt. You start working on that, and then what you do is you light kind of a mode, is we'll just call it. And there's one mode.
Yeah, but
for
that's what
each
I mean.
shot.
Why are we just because it's not really truly a mode?
Well, I think that they just don't call them modes, but they're modes. Like they are.
Like Venom, where people don't like the fact, including me, that like, oh, it's kind of a mode, but it's not a mode because we're trying to be weird with it.
I think that they just call it something different. And I now you have me curious to like, is it an encounter? It might be that they just call it an encounter.
What are they called? Like, you mean
they call them shark encounters, but they're modes.
Okay. Okay.
So basically, you just hit the shark, right? The boat on the pro or the premium to get those optos lit, and then it will light all of your modes. One in each one: night swim, beach panic, scars, pond attack, and raft attack. And they're all very different. And like night swim dims the GI really low, which is amazing. So you get those modes, and then you do those modes. That's one thing that you do.
Like, and hit a couple shots.
They're all a little different. Like scars is the most weird one because you have to shoot the lit ramps to get a score. Like, I can't remember how many points, 5-ish million. But if you hit stand-ups, it decreases the value of those shots by a certain amount. And so the worse you do, the lower that score gets. That's a little bit of a weird one compared to the other ones where you get kind of punished, but I guess that's good. So that one's really bad to bring into a multi-ball also. Do not bring scars into a multi-ball. That is a bad idea. But to get back to what I'm saying, so when you hit that, it's all very narrative. You do those narrative stories. You do the bounty hunt narrative where you're hunting a specific shark, and then you close beaches. So there's beach goers, the 3 little orange dots, and when you hit the little towers next to them, you spot beach goers so that you can collect them. And when you collect all the beach goers from a beach, you can close the beach. And that's what I was talking about earlier, where you get a hurry up. And when you...
Yep. No, keep going. Sorry.
You're trying to save all the people. And when you save all the people from the beach, you can close that beach. And then it starts at 15 million point hurry up. And then when you shoot that, it locks in your bonus point for that shot for the rest of the ball. And when you close all the beaches...
For the rest of the ball or rest of the game?
What?
Rest of the ball or rest of the game?
It's just the ball, I think. And that's why you're kind of incentivized if you're having a really good ball. This is a little bit deeper commentary here. But if you're pretty incentivized where, like, if you've closed 3 beaches and you're playing on a ball, you're incentivized not to close the last beach and start rescue multi-ball, which is like a mini wizard mode, because you'll lose your bonuses because it resets all the beaches.
Yeah, and it's a good call to like not get complicated because it's again like this just seems
I'm trying
obtuse
not
to
to
me.
go
And
deep.
no, I appreciate it. I've read it, I've watched, I've asked Joel from Flipping Out, and everyone knows Joel. I've asked you. I've played the game. Something's not clicking because either I'm stupid, which is very highly
No.
probable. Okay,
Maybe
so
the narrative is just not clicking with you, and that
yeah,
could
and that's
be.
what I'm. Yeah, give me some clarity here. We hit the encounters, or we're searching for sharks. What is that called again? Bounties. Is that
The
right?
bounty hunt, which
Okay,
I think
bounty.
I love the bounty hunts.
That's the stuff, right? Where you're hitting a few pop bumpers, hit this, hit that, right? Collectathon.
Yep, collectathon,
Okay.
and then when you do it, you need to hit the reel to start bounty hunt multi-ball, which is where you go to. You've got that shark on the hook,
Right, you got the shark
and
and,
you
and
need
you're
to
reel
reel
it
it
in.
in,
Yeah, which
and that's
that makes
really
sense.
fun.
Okay, so that makes sense. Then you want to collect a bunch of beachgoers because they're being stupid. They're going to get eaten by a shark. Get the fuck off the beach. So you're hitting a lot of little shit. And then when you can hit all the little shit, you close a beach. Yes?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay. So I'm looking at the playfield. And when I'm looking at the playfield, I see all this shit that has nothing to do with that. I see 4th of July. I see search. I see barrel hook. I see complete targets. I see tiger. Or I see, captured, thresher, hammerhead, mako. Are those the encounters? Tiger, thresher.
I'm pulling it up now because I can't remember.
Okay.
Those are, if you said hammerhead, those are so those are the bounty hunt sharks at the top, right? And if you do great white is not in the game yet. That should be like the bounty hunt wizard mode. And 4th of July is based on the location next to rescue is a mini wizard mode, and search is a mini wizard mode, I think. So 4th of July is the wizard mode, not in the game. So those are the two wizard modes that aren't in the game.
Are bounty hunts and encounters the same thing? Are we just using wrong language?
No, encounters are modes, and those
Okay.
are like the night swim.
Got it. All right.
That's a mode.
So bounty hunts, hit some shit, capture a shark, reel it in, multi-ball, love it. Modes, hit something, do some weird shit, hit some shots, and there's your mode, and then maybe get some points for a while. All right, so those are two main things. The stand-up targets / drop targets area, the Walking Dead area that you're hitting with the right flipper, what is that whole thing for? Mainly?
It's the little blue inserts that you can't read right here, but it's your fish finder radar, and it starts little things like the video mode is one of those little inserts, and if you qualify that, then you can start that at the right ramp.
Are all these things, if you light these up and it lights cast and catch or whatever, are these all started at the right ramp, or they're any
That's a good question. I think they are. I guess it's something I probably don't think about unless I'm kind of playing the game. Super cast and catch is a mini wizard mode. I think cast and catch, is fish finder that you do. I think always you shoot the flashing target, and then man, I know you start the video mode on the right ramp, but I think maybe the other ones are just started. Now you have me curious that I probably wouldn't think about unless I'm playing the game.
Well, so yeah, as someone who doesn't own one, going into location, the game doesn't tell me half this stuff.
It does, but not in a traditional way, right? Like you really need to pay attention to that shack on the back board of the game, right? Because it has the 3 lights on it that tell you if your bounty hunt's lit or your gear is lit, and it's not on the playfield. So I think a lot of times people don't look at that.
Right.
And
well,
there's
hence
Sorry,
obtuse. No. I mean, all the things you're saying is like, yeah, it's like it's not intuitive. I can't see that stuff. I don't know what to pay attention because all the stuff that your eyes are drawing you to is like, oh, this doesn't really explain the game. It's like, okay, so what do I shoot for? Well, all the lights kind of change color. And this, again, coming from someone who follows pinball.
I don't disagree with you. I to a certain degree, I think a lot of pinball game rules are very obtuse. Try to understand Jurassic Park or Star Wars. If you don't understand pinball rules, it's impossible.
But I think Jurassic Park is the opposite of where there's a lot to it. But if you were to tell me, oh, this map is where you collect dinosaurs, you start a dinosaur, and when you start a dinosaur, to capture the dinosaur, which is an intuitive thing, like, okay, we want to capture these dinosaurs, rescue 3 people. The more you go, the more you have to rescue. Keep doing that, and then you beat the game. Cool. Everything else is like, hey, you can hit that, and you can get more, you can boost. But I'm not hearing that in Jaws of where, like, here's the main thing to do. It's like everything
Well,
is just as main as the other. But again, that's where my
I
head's at.
think
Maybe it'll click.
I think that main thing, I think you could say the main thing is maybe bounty hunts, but you do that's a thing that exists while you get to do other things, and I think that maybe because ultimately you're trying to catch a great white shark, right?
Oh
So I
yeah.
guess you could say
Hell yeah.
ultimately the goal would just be to do bounty hunts
Fuck yeah.
because that's how you're going to catch a great white shark. But, while you're doing that, you can start a bounty, play shark encounters, which the modes, you hit the chum bucket to, increase the chum line to start Jaws multi-ball, which has a really cool narrative where you attach barrels to the fin to get
Which
them
is
above
what's
water.
this is what's weird. This is what also gets me. Like you're saying, like attach these things to get Jaws, which I get. Like you'd think in the movie and in this game, we want to capture Jaws, so you're doing that stuff. But the shark bounties, Great White is not in the game yet, which is like I thought that would be Jaws, but no, the chum line to do that is for Jaws. So it seems just like disconnected from
That's a good point.
the goal of. That's why I keep like you saying these things. But like, what about the Great Night or Great
Mm.
White? And I'm looking at the playfield. And that would make sense if it's like capture these dinosaurs, the great white's the hardest, you can do some extra stuff on the side. Okay, but then you hit the chum line to get Jaws, but he's not the great white, it's this different thing. And then these light up things to where again in Jurassic Park would be the like here's the dinosaurs you capture, here's the path you take, turn the truck if you want, and you go to the end and you do it. What's Shark Cage?
Shark cage? Oh, the
Yeah.
gear? That
Sure.
that's the gear at the bottom, right? So those
Yeah.
six you see at the bottom are for gear, which are kind of like I don't know, gear in a Dwight game almost. So, something kind of similar to like a Mandalorian, like they give you benefits.
Okay.
So you can move them through those with the flipper buttons, and then when you
Mm-hmm.
have collect gear on the right, you shoot the right ramp, you collect that piece of gear, and then
Okay.
they all do something different. Like the binoculars spot extra beachgoers when you hit a beachgoer shot so that way you can close beaches faster. The shark cage might be the one that gives you a ball save when you hit the fin target.
And how
One
do
of them,
you collect
it
these?
just
Okay,
uses it.
I know how you collect it, right? The right ramp. You're saying that's how you collect like a dart. How do
Mhm.
you qualify the dart to collect it?
There is many different ways to collect gear. So I think that you can
Right.
do it
That's another
by,
part of the obtuse of like all
yeah,
these things.
there's a lot of things. I think scoring a quick shot does. I think it's a wheel award, which is only on the premium, right? The upper playfield. Uh, I think that you get one for the second skill shot, I think. And then I think there's one for maybe completing an encounter. It's more one of those things where like there's so many ways to earn them. You can kind of work on them as you're playing the game. And then you can, if you're just get used to playing the game more, you just kind of know like you see the light is lit for collect gear, and then you collect the gear. But it does have that thing that I do love about these kind of games where you collect these little things that help you through the game, where you can, when you
I
collect
love
them
that
all,
shit. Yeah.
you can sell them.
So
So
that
like I'm a sucker, dude. Every time I'm
yeah.
playing Jaws and I like have like almost a billion points and I get to the end and it's like, would you like to sell all of your gear? And it's all good. It all does great stuff. Every time I'm like, yeah, give me it's like, give me the
Sell it
points.
for
I
what
want the
points?
points.
Okay.
If you sell, I want to say when you sell them, I think it's
But you
like
don't have to
usually
sell
when I
them.
sell them, it's like 180 million or something.
But you
So
don't
I,
have
I
to, right?
want to, you don't have to,
Okay.
but I do.
Right.
Like I'm an idiot. Like
Well,
first off, I want
yeah.
200 million points.
Uh-huh.
Second, like when you sell them, you can collect them again,
Okay. Can
and
you
it gives like I'm like,
once you
yeah,
collect one, let's say I collect search, whatever the fuck that means, compass. I collect search, got it, right? Do I keep it until I use it, or I can collect all of them and use them with the button, or do you? How
I
do you?
don't think you use any of them with the button.
Oh, they're just
You-
like
You're putting me
static
on the spot
perks.
here, but they all do
That's okay.
things. So like the binoculars, when you hit the stand ups, it just gives
Mm,
you extra beachgoers. And like the oxygen tank, I pulled up the list.
okay.
It gives you a ball. It just gives you more ball saver when you get a ball saver. They just do things, and they're all really good beneficial things. And if you don't use them, you can sell them later.
When you
right?
have all of them.
When you have all of them. And I guess I'm a sucker where I just always sell them. I don't know if you're supposed to, but like I want the points and I want to collect them again.
My thing with this as well is if I was to describe to you how to get gear in Mandalorian or Game of Thrones, it is like you would think. Well, when you collect money, you can spend it in the shop. How do you get to the shop? You hit the scoop that says shop or whatever, you know what I mean? You hit there and then it gives you an option of which one do you want and it tells you what you get. Great. It took under 10 seconds for me to explain that to you. So the stuff in Jaws, everything is like, well, yeah, okay, first you have to understand what, you know what I mean? First you got to understand all this shit. And then you have to understand all this shit. And then how to go, well, okay, that's really complicated to do this. And like, I know what they're trying to do.
But I feel like this is like trying to explain Star Wars rules to someone. It's way less complicated than Star Wars. But I do 100% agree with what you're saying. And I think it could just be that barrier of sometimes it's really hard to learn pinball rules on location when you play 10 games, like really hard.
So, but they're asking for 10 grand for me to like, all right, well, let me take a whim on, I haven't liked what I've played. Let me get 10 grand and then learn it in home. And then when someone comes over, like a friend who likes pinball, I have a couple people in mind, but not like you or I. Like, okay, cool. What do I do? Well, sit down. All right. You know what I mean?
I have a lot of friends who like pinball a lot, but aren't pinheads. And I can explain Jaws, the simple stuff. I explained to them how to get a multi-ball, which is very easy to understand, and how to start modes. And they love it. I know everyone says, oh, my new game is always the most popular. I always have new games. I can tell you that people don't like every game I get. And I can tell you which games they don't like. It's odd to me what people like and don't like, but Jaws has been very popular with people. I think it's just engaging and fun. I like Jaws a lot more, and I guess hot take, I like it more than Godzilla, and I owned Godzilla a long time, so you can't tell me otherwise. Like, it's not that I didn't own it, and it's not that I own a Jaws now. If I don't like a game, I sell it, and if I do like a game, I buy it.
I like the way the flippers feel in Jaws much more than Godzilla.
They're less droopy. Is that what bothers you about Godzilla?
Yep. It feels like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that Jaws has a lot of, I guess maybe it's just a culmination of, I guess to put it simple, to try to put it in a nice little package for you. What I like about Jaws is a lot of the things it has engage with certain things I really like about games. It has a risk and reward functionality with I can sell gear. It has a right in gate, like gate, where I can try to save it back, the ball back in, but it's not a death save, so I don't feel like I'm cheating. It has like a hurry up, like the smart missile that I feel really engages me, with the quick shot for the fin. I like that moment.
Hey, does yours do the thing? Does it jump? Did you get the fix?
No, I don't have that problem, but I have worked on it quite a bit. But I don't have any huge air balls, and my reel works. But there is quite a bit of little adjustments you need to make to this game, and I think everybody kind of is getting lost in the weeds on what they think is causing the air balls.
You're no stranger to giving games shit or being honest with games from since I've known you. You don't hold back or whatever. Not that you shit on games, but whatever. Do you think Jaws... Okay, let me ask this in two ways. In a very brief synopsis, do you think Avengers Infinity Quest is good?
Oh, two-part answer. And it's a cop-out, yes and no. I think the layout is really good, and yet I dislike the game very much.
Okay. Jaws
I love. I love Jaws.
Okay.
I think that the layout is Keith Elwin. Like I think the layout is really cool, but it's not the best layout ever. But it is a better package. It is for some reason rules that I engage with easily. I think it's a very good narrative. I think the assets are really good. I love John Williams. I think there's a better thing happening where like it is good sound. It's a good light show. Night Swim is cool. Everything's engaging. I think the toys are good. I hate upper playfields, but I like this upper playfield. I like an upper playfield where
I like the Foo Fighters upper playfield. Do you not like that
same
one?
thing.
I know you.
It's
Okay.
I love it, but
Yeah.
traditionally I hate playfields. But the Foo Fighters one hits the same note where the ball goes up there through a normal ball path, right? It's not a go up to the upper playfield. It's in the ball path, and then all it does is add to the game. It goes up there, you make a couple quick hits at something, and then you're back to the game. And that's what Jaws is. It has some different ball paths where it has a wheel up there and it has a couple ramp shots, and then you're back in the game. And I like that. I think that as a package, Jaws is hitting all the notes. And a game like AIQ, it misses a lot of them. I think the
Yes.
rules are convoluted, and I get that some people really love that. And I think it's good to have a game for those people.
You're saying
If you
Avengers convoluted.
Yeah, Avengers.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have a game that even I think is too complicated for those people that want that. But besides just the rules, which I don't like, I think the asset package I hate. It really look. There's different art everywhere. There's different art on the playfield. There's different art on the screen at different times.
Oh, Avengers.
Clearly, this is just
bad.
Marvel's clip art Avengers package.
Yeah.
Everything about it, the call outs, I just don't care for much of. Yeah, it's a good layout.
Yeah.
Put it on a different game.
Jaws. Yeah, I'm still to be determined on Jaws. I'm
You've really been up and down on it, and I think that's
I've never
totally
been
fine.
up. I've never been up.
Well, you've been pretty flatline. I don't think everybody has to like every game. I don't love Godzilla, and people think that I'm insane for that. But at the end of the day, maybe Jaws isn't for you. Maybe like a game can be good and just you don't like it. I'm not saying I think Godzilla is bad. I've never said that. It's just not for me.
Nope, same. Well, the reason I'm so whatever is I'm looking for a game, another great one to play for a while. I mean, maybe it's John Wick when it gets run next month. I mean, assuming it's John Wick, which I'm tentatively excited for.
Well, let's speed run. We've gotten really into the weeds. We're going to speed run everything that you want to talk about. John Wick, Stern, who's making it? Do you care?
I care about the game because I think it's going to be those ones. I think it's going to be something that has a better chance of me liking than Jaws. And that's not because of theme. I think Jaws is great. I love the music. The movies are great. But I've played the game and it hasn't done it for me. Something about Jurassic Park, even when I played it, there's still something that it did for me that kept me going. Maybe I'll love Jaws. I hope I do.
I think John Wick, I think people are sleeping on how good the music in John Wick is. I think it's good music. I think it's exciting. It's upbeat. It will play well.
I think it'll be a fast fucking action game.
Yeah, and I think that music will play well to the strength of pinball. But I think it's kind of a ho-hum thing.
Yep. Well, we talked about Abba. Fuck it.
Yep.
We'll see.
Muppets?
I mean, come on. If that happens, so yeah, the word is that maybe it's not Matrix, maybe it's Muppets. God, if you make a Muppets game, what the fuck are you doing? I mean,
Muppets makes more sense than Matrix. Honestly, they do Wizard of Oz, they do Toy Story. Muppets makes so much sense.
For people spending $13,000, I guess.
I do. The old look. If you go back in time, when Wizard of Oz came out, people loved that. And
but Wizard of Oz is
objectively. Why is Wizard of Oz timeless, but Muppets isn't?
Because Wizard of Oz has fear, humor, love. It has a little bit of everything and fantasy.
So you don't like
is just like, well, no, Animal's fucking crazy, but there's not like actually dark aspects to Muppets. It's just like, I mean, it's kind of dark, and I've seen some GIFs that are pretty fucking dark. Muppets?
Yeah, but like watch an 80s Muppets movie. Or like if you think Muppets aren't dark, have you seen Dark Crystal?
Yeah. Oh, Dark Crystal's awesome.
Jim Henson.
Yeah, but does Muppets have that actual like evil dark side? Maybe I've just not.
I think it can get real. I think that's the difference with children's content in the 80s.
Skeksis are fucking dark as shit.
Skeksis, yeah, look. Henson in the 80s was doing some stuff. But like, I think Muppets has a realness to it. I think that all of his stuff does. I think that you see Kermit be sad. I think there's a lot of moments in like Muppets Take Manhattan. I think a lot of that stuff dealt with bigger issues. like Mr. Rogers
Sure.
is far more progressive than anything we're doing today.
I would 100% take a Mr. Rogers over a Muppets. Muppets, the most I ever liked about the Muppets were Muppet Babies, and when Muppet Babies did like Star Wars episodes.
Well, why do I feel like I'm defending Muppets here? It's not like I'm going to buy a Muppets
Because you
pinball
are.
machine.
I don't know why you are defending Muppets. It's fucking
Because
stupid.
I think it's I guess I'm putting it in this thing where I'm like, I don't personally think Muppets is a worse theme than Wizard of Oz.
As far as popularity, no, but it's way better than ABBA. But if you're saying to me like Matrix of which would be the best thing of all time, and then like, oh, they might do Muppets. I'm like, fucking kill yourself. I don't want Muppets.
We're not comparing Matrix and the Muppets right now.
Well, you said it was you think it might sell better?
I think it will sell better than Wizard of Oz. I don't think anything would sell better than the Matrix right now.
I thought that's what you started with.
The future. No. Oh, wow. Let's back up. I do not think the Muppets would sell better than the Matrix.
Oh, okay. Well, anyone
that's
rewinding?
What's happening here?
I think that's what you said. We're leaving it in.
Wait, did I say that? Oh, no.
I might not be listening.
I think it's better than Wizard of Oz.
I think you might have said Matrix, but okay, yeah.
I think it's better than Wizard of Oz. I think it's better than Toy Story. I think it's better than Elton John.
Okay.
I think Muppets
I can calm down.
JJP is like honestly, a pretty decent theme. I'm not saying Muppets are super relevant in today's society.
That's the point. You're trying to get 13 grand. You might want relevancy.
But they had a TV show on CBS recently. They had a movie with Jason Segel.
Everyone's
that's
fucking
already
cable.
Better than Wizard of Oz.
You watching CBS? Okay.
Dude, I'm not watching anything on.
No, well, you're watching Fallout until 3 a.m.
I watch Fallout. But okay, we're deep in the weeds. All I'm saying is I think everybody knows who the Muppets are.
Yes.
I think they have a cultural relevance. To your point, Kermit
They're fun.
They're fun.
Oh, man.
Everybody likes a Muppet. If I was like, hey, who's your favorite Muppet? Someone's going to say something. They're going to, they know the names of these characters. They like Animal. They like whoever it is. Everybody likes somebody different. I think that they're easily definable and easily recognizable. While I don't think it's the Matrix, it's just not. I think the Matrix is going to appeal to 40 to 60-year-old people just as being an awesome, just nonstop action, awesome sci-fi adventure. But I don't think the Muppets is bad, and I think as far as JJP is concerned, it seems better.
It fits. Fuck off. No, I mean I get it. Like it fits.
No, I don't mean better than the Matrix.
I know
better
you don't.
than what they're doing.
Yes,
I think it's better than what they're doing. Let me keep making this clear. I don't think the Muppets is better than the Matrix. I think it's better than what they've been doing. Muppets is better than Dialed In. I guess it's better than everything with the exception of Guns N' Roses, but I don't like that game.
You mean theme-wise? Yeah, no, it fits up there. Yeah, Wizard of Oz. It's a great theme for them, I guess. But for me, it's all like, well, compared to if they actually want to make a dent, something like The Matrix or something that has a good theme, this is just poop on my shoe. But it's fine. People be like, hey, well, you love the Muppets. It's great. It's fun. Yes, it is. Then go spend 13 grand on it. Well, no, I'm not going to do that because that's fucking ridiculous. Right. No, that's what I'm saying. What are we doing here? I could make a pinball machine. Let me look around my room. I'm looking. Okay, I have a I mean, if they make a Superman, I got a Superman that my buddy Mark Lone drew. Go check out Mark Lone art online. But I got a Slimer.
To your point, Jason. I think it's pretty simple. If are you going to buy a JJP for 13 grand just in a vacuum?
Matrix, yes. Star Wars,
just
yes.
Any, not theme, no theme. Like you're going to buy a JJP for 13K.
Well, wait, you can't say no theme. I mean,
well, I just mean like whatever game they're releasing. Because I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I am. If it's Matrix or Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, I am.
But that's my point. I'm never interested in buying a JJP because I just don't like the cost, the weight. I don't like how they lose $4,000 in value.
Course.
Like I have so many problems where I just don't care. But like my point was the Matrix. You've got my interest. Like. Sure. I don't care at all, but it swings me all the way around to being like, okay, I'm paying attention.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes, I agree. And I think a lot of people do as well. And that's what they need because Muppets, not to shit on Muppets, but I'm shitting on Muppets. We would like 13,000 of your dollars. Elton John, who I would argue is bigger than the fucking Muppets,
It probably
isn't, selling a lot. GNR, Godfather, nah, but like
No.
what?
I also
was
don't
it
like the
of
game.
Godfather? No, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan.
Everyone was nice about it, whatever. And it sucks because none of this is against people who design the games because it's such a small
Nobody
hobby.
ever wants to say anything negative about these people, and that's not what it's about. I don't dislike any of these people. I think they do hard work, and I like Dwight can say anything negative he wants about me on Pinside. If you go back into the deep dives, I've had that happen. I like
Yeah.
Dwight. Dwight is a super nice guy. He works incredibly hard, and he is pushing the boundaries of what we think pinball rules should be. I don't have anything that I would say negative about things that he's done for rules in a pinball game. In no way reflects on him as a person.
No, none of these. Just like, I mean, I've made some very shitty music, and I would be, where like it stings, but if someone's like, that's a bad song, I'm like, well, that's your opinion, and deep down, maybe you're right. But that, it's hard to make that disclaimer, but Godfather's not great. But I want to get back to what I was saying before because this is hot. Looking around my room, got a Superman on the wall. I got a Slimer who's eating pizza and some hamburgers, which is pretty cool. So themes, right? Like that would be like enough to hang on my wall. I don't see fucking Elton John, which is nothing against it. I don't see Muppets is my fucking point. I do see a Matrix poster. And in my closet, if I'm looking a little deeper in where I got some weird shit, I got some Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle Earth, or not Battle for Middle Earth, the Armies of Middle Earth, in case I get a Lord of the Rings again, because I'm insane. I got the little toys and package. I got a lightsaber I did in Galaxy's Edge, so Star Wars. And I got a Star Trek The Next Generation customizable card game rule book from like the 90s that my buddy's like, hey, maybe we should play Star Trek again. All right, themes. I got a Switch box. I got it's PlayStation. I got a Batman I can see in the comic book thing. The point is, I don't see Muppets laying around. I see themes that a lot of other people are like, yeah, I fucking love Ghostbusters, I love Star Wars, I love Superman, I love Batman, Star Trek,
I'm
Nintendo.
really confused why we haven't done. Well, we don't do video games in pinball, but I'm also curious, why do none of these companies do DC anymore? Like, why has there not been a Batman game? Or like
it would fucking clean up. It has to be licensing. It has to
Batman, Superman. I'm just really confused why we don't get any DC. Are they just impossible to deal with? I mean,
please write in if you have any. If you want to be anonymous and write in about the licensing of DC, because I can't believe it either. Of that, Superman would fucking kill. That's timeless. Batman would slay. That's also timeless. If you wanted to do like the Joker, or sorry, what I was getting at, like the Godfather type thing, do the Joker.
Well, wouldn't Suicide Squad like be a good? I'm not saying I think that it's been super successful in movies, but I think people
it's better than
do
Muppets.
Like those. Well, I think it would be better than Muppets. I think people really like those characters. I think Harley Quinn is a pretty good cartoon.
Yeah, Harley Quinn's fine, but Suicide Squad is like, I would take that over, I guess. Not a lot in DC.
I'd
Man,
take it over that
the
weird Avengers Infinity Quest game.
As long as it's not dog shit. But if it was dog shit, it's as weak of a theme. Avengers is
I'm
arguably
just going through the DC
theme.
characters, right? Because I don't think Flash is going to do it. I don't think Green Lantern's going to do it. I don't
like
know
move
if
games?
Wonder Woman's going to do it.
Nah, the only thing that's going to do it, Batman, Superman, or if you did like a Justice League and included Flash and Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter and everyone. A Justice League, or if you did, the only other standalone that would work would be Joker, for sure.
Just like a Joker game?
God
why not?
Damn,
I guess.
Fuck
there's
yeah,
two
dude.
movies. Like,
wait, it's 2 movies. Oh yeah,
there's a new movie coming out. So to your
but
point,
I mean, if you
maybe just Joker.
Oh yeah, Joker would be incredible. But you could just do Joker, whether it's comic version or the Mark Hamill version. You pick your Joker.
Man,
Joker would do great.
Batman is an iconic enough character where you can do a pinball machine just on one story. Like you could do a Killing Joke or a Hush or I'm sorry, I'm going deep nerd here.
No, I'm following.
I think you can do
Long Halloween would be pretty great.
It'd be so good, right? Like
I don't know why they're not doing it. There's got to be a licensing reason. I seriously can't. But back to your point about the video games, I think it's coming as far as video game themes.
Well, they're breaking through in media. We were talking about Fallout. Like, video games have permeated all of society at this point. Last of Us
Mario,
was huge. Mario was huge in
Sonic.
theaters. Sonic is big. I think that we're finally hitting this saturation point where like they are big enough where why can't you do a Sonic pinball machine? There's a third
They
movie and a
they will.
TV show coming out.
They'll do video game shit soon enough. And I want to end on something that is very particular to this show of to all of those things, the themes that are current to you, myself, and a lot of people listening, what we will buy, what we will spend money on, the things that we've listed akin to that. The only anecdotally data I have on who is very active in pinball is from our deep dives and when we do deep dives, how many people join or what they do when they want to spend the $5 and come in, please join. It's awesome in there. We're doing a lot of stuff, or don't, who cares? But the point is when we do games that are like that, we did Star Wars. We did recent Sterns. We did games that target our kind of generation who are really actively doing this. We get members. We get a member boost. When we did, and it was my idea to do Addams Family, of like, let's do the generation that's kind of right before, that's like, whatever, of like you'd think are in here spending money. No one joined. When like that is arguably the most popular pinball game of all time, to say that the people actively listening and wanting to spend money on this stuff and what they want to hear is recent stuff that mimics what we like in this current generation. I'm 41, grew up in the 80s, like this stuff. We're willing to like engage in media, spend money on it, listen to it, all that. Oh, what's all the new Stern stuff? When you put out, again, Addams Family, which I thought would be droves of people joining the Patreon. And of course, there's other reasons why it may or may not, but it was very consistent with certain stuff. And I bet when we go back to do Godzilla or Foo Fighters, things like that, oh, okay, I'll start joining again, which says the older generation is just not interested in like, I don't know, paying for some of this stuff.
I think there's just an expectation that it's free. I think that advertising of the previous generation where content was always free and you are the product to a certain extent, right?
I'm a
Like
whore.
you're not going to get commercials on a pinball podcast, and if you want to support them, you have to subscribe. If you want to listen to Zach Many, you have to subscribe to his Patreon. I can accept that. I think that's totally fine. I think that our Addams Family podcast was very good, by the way. I think it's actually I really enjoyed doing it, and I think it went pretty well. But my ultimate goal, we need to get Jason some Gucci loafers. Okay, people? Like, he's never gonna get those Gucci loafers if you don't sign up to his Patreon.
Yeah. I need diamonds in my shoes. I need enough money to buy a fucking Muppets pinball machine. But you get the point of where like I didn't take it personal at all. I was just very interested, like, the one that I thought would be whatever, it just drove nothing. No interest
now, in it. The new person, like even people younger than us, I think that Google and Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all of these avenues for free content, like they're selling you, right? With just so I think that people expect a lot of content for free if you look at like YouTube, for example, too. So I think it's weird. The concept of like supporting content creators that you like is getting really popular with an even younger demographic again, with like Twitch.
Oh my God.
And
it's
they're
so prevalent.
Oh yeah. You just support things that you like because you want them to make more of it.
Yep. And this isn't really a knock against like, oh, please support the Patreon, which I'd love. No. It was really just an indication of, you'd think that the people with all the money that are slightly older, that, oh, pinball, the heyday, the Twilight Zone, the Addams Family, they're not going to be the ones supporting this market going forward. It doesn't seem, and that's not, I see it from buying and selling and trading.
Markets. I have this weird, I mean, obviously like you, I collected comic books. I'm always waiting for the shoe to drop on a collectible market when nostalgia is no longer prevalent, right?
And that's what's happening.
I think that might be what's happening. I think like in comic books, the Silver Age comics, if you didn't read a comic when you were 8, at the comic book stand.
Oh yeah, you don't care.
What does it mean to you? And I think that to a certain degree, if you don't have that extreme nostalgic attachment to the Addams Family, maybe you don't care as much.
No, and you're not going to be the one supporting the market going forward. So when they're doing things like ABBA or Muppets or these remakes of Funhouse and all that, like, I get it. That is not that is going to kill the market. It's going to just die because video games are. I mean, we are the ones with the money now who are willing to do this. We had a lot of that, but I mean, like the Addams Family that helped us. But then the people now, the young people playing, will like maybe Godzilla, maybe Walking Dead, Star Trek Pro, the earlier Sterns from now. I guess I'm saying earlier. Is what they got a taste for, but they're the ones in the future who are going to expect even more new stuff. They're going to be expecting, I'll say Pokemon, but they'll be expecting Minecraft, the pinball machine that they'll spend money on, or Roblox, or of course, fucking Fortnite. If you did Fortnite now, people aren't going to be able to afford it, but in like 10, 15 years, Fortnite is going to be the pinball machine that you're going to want to release.
Maybe you get location play, though. They made that giant, was it Raw Thrills, made that giant Minecraft game? I heard that was popular.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, right. But that's not Addams Family. That's not fucking Muppets.
No.
Or Funhouse. No. This nostalgia thing, it's
By the way, you're going to live rent-free in my mind all day. I do not think that Matrix is better than Muppets.
It's clear.
Let me just say this again. Okay.
and I may have misheard. Maybe you were saying
I do not think... Oh, did I say it backwards again? I do not think Muppets is a better theme than The Matrix. See, you're living in my head now. Man,
just go drink a lot of caffeine and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll go away. All right, yeah, so I just want to leave with the like, hey, go join the Patreon, cool. This wasn't an indication it's, hey, you better pay for my shit. No, we do it for fun. It's just that the Addams Family didn't bring in anything. And the ones that you wouldn't think would, like TNA brought in more than Addams Family. Star Wars brought in fucking way more. But Star Wars, again, to the pin side, is like, oh, that game sucks shit. Well, people seem to love listening to the game and thinking about it because the theme is so popular, which is Addams Family a better shooting? Yeah, I mean, take that for what you will. The older stuff doesn't drive listenership. It won't drive sales. It's not going to maintain this hobby. So to doing this is like, do stuff that we want to buy. Because that's what's going to sell. So, yeah, do Matrix. Don't fucking do Muppets. That'll do it. All right, thanks, Zach. Thanks for joining on this fine Saturday. It's too nice outside. I'm going to go take a walk. And we'll do a deep dive hopefully next week. And we're going to do Walking Dead, right?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. So come out, engage with us on Patreon. I'll try to respond to anyone if you have questions. I mean, it's trying to build a community. It's fun.
Yes, indeed it is, and thanks to all the Patreon patrons we have out there, y'all are the shit. Okay, so, interrupting here with a little plot twist. Here's what was happening while I was asking Zach a bunch of questions about Jaws. What I was doing was basically seeing, am I going to buy this game? Because I want a reason to buy it, give me a reason to buy it. So, whilst we were talking about it, I was texting Zach Meny from Flippin' Out Pinball saying, hey man, can I buy a Jaws Premium because I'm psyched up and all this? Can I buy? He said, absolutely. I said, well, please sign me up for a Jaws Premium. I'm psyching myself in and out. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm buying a Jaws Premium from Flippin' Out Pinball, which I suggest all of you do if you would like a Jaws Premium, a Jurassic Park Premium. I know we sang about it earlier, and I know you had a good time listening to it, but truly, I've worked with a lot of distributors out there. Yes, they're a sponsor of the show, so I say this, but even when I have questions about games, not rules and shit, but hey, when is this run coming? Can I get this? What if this happens? Honestly, no one's better out there than Flippin' Out Pinball, Zach. So thank you, Zach, for hooking me up. For all those in the Midwest, I'd say Wisconsin, Minneapolis, look for me probably selling a Jaws Premium in the next month because I play a game for a week or so, play the shit out of it, and then list it. I'll probably list it for a good price. So yeah, I'm excited to get a Jaws Premium. And, next week or the couple weeks after, I think it's on the line in the next week or so. Hopefully I get a chance to play the shit out of it and give an updated opinion on it. So I'm excited. I didn't mean to interrupt my own show. But from talking about Jaws so much and then having a fantastic buying experience with Flippin' Out per usual, I just wanted to give a second shout out to Flippin' Out. People who text me or email on the side sometimes, hey, where should I buy a game? Like, well, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, if you're listening to the show, you probably know what I'm going to say. But again, Bought another one from Flipping Out. I don't know how many. He has too much of my money. Stop taking my money. Flipping Out Pinball. Go buy your shit. Everyone else, I'll see you next time.
Oh yeah. When I buy my pinball shit, I buy from Flippin' Out. From Topper's Art Blade Premiums, I've got it figured out. Flippin' Out. Yeah. Figured out. Oh yeah. When I think of pinball, I think Flippin' Out. Oh yeah. Flippin' Out. Yeah. Figured out. Oh yeah. When I buy, I buy from Flippin' Out.